told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So back when I was in Mozambique for vacation, I sketched in my sketchbook using only the three primary colors, so red, blue, and yellow. And I did this really cool looking like eyes and nose, I think, and I really liked the outcome. So at the time I thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting for me to do a video where I just do a whole ass portrait using only the primary colors. So a few months later, here we are, and today we're going to be trying out the primary color challenge. I don't know if this challenge exists or not. What I do know is that I was really curious to give this a try. Now, as you saw in the beginning, I was choosing the three main colors, and now what you're seeing on screen is me sketching. I pondered including this part or not in the video, but I really thought it might be interesting to just see like the process of me sketching. I sped it up because I didn't want to bore you too much with the sketching, but I do find it interesting to see how people sketch, and I just thought it would be a nice add-on for the video. So speaking a little bit about this whole process and how this went, it could have been better. To be completely honest, it could have been a little bit better. So you see me sketch, and once I finished the sketch, I went in and started drawing and coloring it in. And honestly, the first try, it didn't work out. I didn't include a footage because the video would get really big. In the end, it ended up not being that big, but I just scrapped it. But I messed up. I went confidently, and I had done the eyes and the nose, and I looked at it, and it looked terrible, and I was so unhappy with it. So I just, sketched it out again. I kind of like light boxed it in my window type thing, and sketched it out again and restarted. And I'm not happy with the outcome. Well, I'm not unhappy with it, but it wasn't exactly how I wanted it to go, but that's fine. Sometimes things are like this, and this was a learning curve, and it was a challenge. That's exactly what it was, and exactly what it was meant to be. And I feel like I achieved that part of it. And I think that's also very important to like keep in mind when we're like evaluating what we did and how we did it.
As you fade away.
So, arriving to the coloring process and talking a little bit about that. So I started off by making a base of like red. I don't know if this was the smartest idea, but going in with yellow would easily change blue to green, and I didn't want that effect, so I decided to go straight in with red. To be completely honest, I have no idea how I did it on my sketchbook back way when I had this idea, and I just kind of winged it. In retrospect, I really do think that I should start thinking about considering doing some studies before starting a challenge or doing a video, practicing it a little bit on my sketchbook, working out with the colors, making swatch sheets, just working things out before getting to the challenge, just to make the challenge a bit smoother. But I don't know why, I'm just so impetuous. I just want to like start it right now. Let's go. And I end up like losing a lot with that. So I think that this challenge was a really good example of the situation like that, where I would have won so much more with not one, but I would have gained so much more with just practicing beforehand and figuring out how I would deal with this challenge beforehand. So that's something that I definitely learned with this challenge. Another thing that I also learned was to value the grain of the paper that you're going to color in. So here's the thing that I mainly struggled with this challenge. I'm doing this with Prismacolors, and I do know that I can get them to look really flawless and untextured, and buffing them out will look really amazing. But that's not what I wanted to do. That's not something I wanted to achieve in this case, and I honestly don't have much of a patience for that. I've done it before. Yeah, I don't enjoy it as much as one would think, and so it wasn't something I was planning on doing in this thing, and it's definitely not something I did. But I realized that the sketchbook that I did this initially, the paper was so smooth. It was super smooth, even like waxy, kind of, not really, but kind of. And so the pencil would go so smoothly, you'd barely have any grain. And this paper is the actual opposite. It's drawing paper, but it has a lot of texture. Even for drawing paper, it's not really smooth paper, and so it got me. It honestly got me, and the texture kind of messed me up and made me not like it as much, and I was struggling with the texture throughout the drawing process, and it kind of threw me off, to be completely honest. And I think that's the main thing I struggled with. It was the paper, for sure. And then I was just, figuring things out. I decided to do a very layered approach. That way I wouldn't overdo them, because you can definitely overdo with Prismacolors. And so I decided to go layer by layer, lightly, and just add here, add there. But with these pencils, it's kind of hard to make really light layers sometimes, and I do know the places where I messed up. And I know that by the time that I reached the blouse, I didn't have as much patience as I would like to have, because even though it wasn't coming out bad, it wasn't coming out exactly how I wanted it. And even though I know this is a 3 primary color challenge and stuff like that, I didn't want her to look as colorful as she does. Does that make sense? I know it doesn't, but I don't know, I expected something a bit more natural looking instead of alienly looking. In the end, I do have to say that I really like how she came out, and I like what I did with her hair. Overall, I like her. I do a few things differently, but that's the beauty of art. We learn with each artwork that we do, and each piece that we try to do and fail. We're always learning, and I think that's the most important part of this whole process. But yeah, it was full of struggles. It was full of highs and lows, but in the end, I'm really happy with how it came out, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Reaching the end, I can definitely tell there are things that I could have done a little bit differently, and that I would have done differently if I were to do this all over again. But I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the outcome, even though I'm not happy with the outcome. But I guess that's the duality of being an artist. You like it, but you dislike it at the same time. Either way, I hope above all else that you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a like. All my links are down below, and you can subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for watching. Bye!